Now I am pretty excited today, and it's because finally I get to upgrade the quail. Look at all of these molehills. Somebody is making a home. And I know you came here for quail, and we will get there in a minute, but I need to tell you something very interesting and weird that I found out the other day about moles. And that is, there are male moles, and then there are intersex moles. Because female moles actually have both the male and female organs. Most of the year, female moles have the male organ enlarged, which produces more testosterone, which means they get bigger strength and better claws for digging. And then come mating season, the male organ shrinks and the female organs come into play, and female moles don't even have their lady parts. These only open during breeding season so that they can have babies. And then after breeding season, they disappear again, and the male organ swells and they get big claws and strong for digging. Nature is amazing. Anyway, let's go on with the video. Now, I've been keeping my quail in hutches for quite a while. When I was in an urban garden, it was great. And I know many people keep them in wire cages as well, allowing the poop to fall through and easy collection of the eggs. But here at Brynwood Farm, I like to do things a bit more natural. So I've been desperately wanting to get the quail out of a hutch and into a coop on natural ground. And now I have the opportunity because, ta-da! We have a new little home for them. Now, I just want to say a huge shout out to Jackie. She lives just down the road from me, it turns out, and she had this coop that she didn't need anymore. And she emailed me and said, "Do you want it?" And of course, I was like, yes, please. So I went and picked it up, and I think this will be absolutely perfect for the quail. Honestly, I would always like to see things like this repurposed if possible and reused until they really have disintegrated. So this is ideal for the quail. And it's also really, really cute. Look at it. It's like a little hobbit house. We will paint it at some point just to give it a freshen up. But for now, I just want to get the little quailies in. I've made a couple of extra additions because this coop's going to be pulled around the different areas of the grass. I was slightly worried about this falling to bits. So you can see here, I've just put 3 struts across the bottom just to give it a bit more rigidity. The back piece was also really connected to this. Again, I think it's going to be easier to move around in 2 pieces than in 1 piece. So I've taken all the screws out that originally connected it, and I've just popped in a couple of screws here, one this side and one the other side. And it means that when I do come to remove it, or move it rather, I can just undo those 2 screws and pull it across, rather than trying to unbolt everything. Because it is an older piece, that's why I just wanted to do it. I think if it had been brand new and I could just pull it across in one go, but because it's been loved and recycled and reused multiple times, I don't want to drag it and it fall apart. So we've added the couple of screws there. And then one last thing is I've just put it on top of some chicken wire. So to protect the quails from anything burrowing in, particularly rats, because rats would eat a quail. So rats burrowing in and trying to eat them. Now, if you are thinking about putting wire under your runs, there's a couple of things to think about really. I wouldn't use the fine grade wire cloth like this is on the ground if you want your birds to be able to scratch around, because it just inhibits the scratching, it inhibits making dust baths, and actually as you move it around, the grass will just lay flat. It won't come through this. On the other end of the extreme, this chicken wire is good. You can see this kind of perfect size holes, but anything any bigger that would obviously allow the grass to come through and stuff also could allow rats So you want to go for kind of a mesh around this side if you're going to be permanently underpinning a run with wire. The other thing you can do, and what I am personally going to do when I get time, is buy some hard wire, attach it with cable ties or something on the outside, and then they flip up. So you attach them all the way around the edge. So I would put one here as a skirt, and a skirt on the front, and a skirt on the back. When you come to move it, you just flip them up so they don't drag on the ground. And when they're static, you just flip them down. And what that means is the entirety of the inside isn't covered in mesh. And that's quite good because it allows the birds access to the soil to make their dust baths, and for the grass and the plants to grow up rather than growing through the mesh. And I think it's particularly nice with quail because quail absolutely love long grass. They don't scratch through it like chickens and ducks and things, but they make little tunnels through it, and I think it's delightful. So when the summer comes and we've got longer grass, I'll probably move them down to this end of the market garden, and we'll have the little flip ups, and then every time we move them, they'll be able to make little burrows and little tunnels through the grass and live their best life. That's their new digs. Let's prep it and get them in. So my quail are quite placid, so I'm just going to pop them in a bucket and carry them over. Right, off we go with just our bucket full of quail. One thing that is commonplace with quail is this. And no matter how much you keep them clean, quails have quite runny poo. And it gets stuck to their toenails, and then it builds up. So this guy is going to come home with me because he needs to have a long soak in the sink to get these off. Don't try and pull them off, because quail toes are so fragile, you will actually break the toe off with it. Soak them in warm water, chip away them with a pair of tweezers, and they'll come off just fine. If you remember from another video a couple of weeks ago about sowing seeds, I've also got this little chick. Well, it's not a chick, it was a single chick, and it's in the shed because I haven't been able to successfully integrate it to the flock. Now they've been upgraded, I'm going to try and put this little chap in. However, not until tomorrow. If you ever try and integrate animals, always do so in the morning, so you've got all day to watch in case things go wrong and you can take them out. Because the last thing I want to do is introduce this little one in the evening, and then it all goes horribly wrong overnight and I'm not here to segregate. So we'll try that tomorrow morning. Now I think it's going to take them some time to build up the courage to come to the outside, but I really like this little setup. I know it's not quick and efficient. If you wanted quail production, those sort of setups have quails in wire cages and the eggs roll to the front. But I like to do everything a little bit more naturally, and I quite like the egg hunt as you look around your coop to find all the quail eggs. Because of course quail don't lay eggs in little nests like most chickens, or they don't unless they've gone broody, which is a rare occurrence. So you generally have to go on a bit of an Easter egg hunt in your quail coop to find the eggs. But as I say, I quite enjoy that. So that's another little project done. Thrilled, really, really happy. And again, thanks to Jackie, because this wouldn't have been achievable otherwise without this second-hand coop. So it's really, really good. And I will bring you more quaily updates as they get braver and come out. And hopefully we will be doing a quail hatch. The days are still too short with levels of daylight to start the egg laying process for these, but I would think in a month or so we'll start to have eggs. And then of course eggs only take 18 days to hatch, so we'll have chicks very quickly, which is very exciting. And if you love quail, check out my messy quail video up here, which is basically just a few minutes watching these lovely gentle creatures.